Now we're going to need some brown, and I like to use burnt umber for this brown. We'll need some white and some black. And you can see how I have cleaned off my palette from the blue layer, and now I'm starting fresh with the different colours. Again, just remember being a little bit careful of the edge, so just moving with my brush along the edge up here. And when we get to the areas where the blue and the brown overlap, we're going to be just kind of overlapping a little bit, so we'll just do some kind of little flicks with the edge of the brush. We're going to kind of add more detail to this later on, but we'll just start off by doing that. Okay, we want some nice dark browns as well as the brown kind of blends behind this feather. And some darker tones over here as well. With my brush strokes, I want to try and create a sense of the feathers. I don't want to do them up and down like this. I want to have a sense of movement or the direction of the feathers. And we're going to add details over the top of this later on, but for now we just want to get a sense of it, of the feathers moving in a direction. So just like this. Just they're kind of coming down, and then here they're coming a little bit flatter down here, and at the top they're sort of moving along the top like that. And that, even though it's just a base, it just helps to create that sense of texture and direction. Now the other thing to note here is that it's quite light along the top here, and that's because the light is hitting the bird at the top, and then as the body kind of is rounded like this, the further down here we come, the darker the brown is going to be. So I'm just mixing a little bit of black with the brown here as well. And again, just trying to sort of, just little flicks to overlap and cover up the base, cover up the surface we're painting on. Now with the top feathers here, we just want to overlap the blue, and we'll probably come back over it with a bit of the blue in another layer, just so we get a sense of the feathers really overlapping rather than just being, it's not a hard line. Probably a bit more at the top and coming down here as well, and just kind of visually checking that there's no sort of spots that are showing through, especially if you've got a white background or white surface. Great, that looks good. Alright, now we're going to come down into the part underneath the bird here, and the only part that I can see on my image is there's a little bit of sort of lighter toned brown around here. Just a real sort of, just a little touch of brown, not much. Again, I'm looking at the direction of the brush strokes. And then all along the bottom here is quite dark and brown, almost black. And you can see it just mixes in nicely with the really dark blue. Just be careful with the edges. You can create a little bit of feathering like that, but you don't really want fuzzy edges on it. You want to create nice sharp edges when we do the details later. At that point the brown turns into grey for the feet, so we'll just stop doing that down there. And there we go, that's the brown layer.